International Relations Minister Dr. Naledi Pandor is this morning meeting with her Ukrainian counterpart to have political consultations. This gathering comes amid a disillusionment with the response by some countries to the current war between Israel and Hamas. Ukraine is one of the countries that voted against a motion in the United Nations General Assembly for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Let's speak now to our reporter, Ziyanda Ngcobo, who has her ear to the ground. And Ziyanda, good morning to you. The significance of this visit, and I think that introduction somewhat characterizes this visit as to the importance of Ukraine. It was once the talk because of the war between itself and Russia. How important is this country still, given what is going on in Ukraine?
Well, I must say, Koli, just in the last couple of days, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had remarked about how the world has turned its attention away from the war between that country and Russia and is now focused on the war between Israel and Hamas. But equally important is the timing of this political consultation, as it's been dubbed by the International Relations Department, given the fact that there's been lots of talk about how the fact that Ukraine and the United States voted against an immediate ceasefire in Gaza also means that the global South has started to lose its faith, firstly in the way in which then the multilateral systems and institutions such as the United Nations respond to war, but also in terms of human rights and what would be described as cherry picking, who gets the most relevance and who gets the most attention when it comes to those kinds of abuses. So it's an important meeting because it would seem that a lot of global South countries, and given what's been happening this year, there was just last week we hosted the AGOA summit, but also the BRICS summits, that many countries continue to look towards the east and of course discussions around a new world order. So it's an important discussion to check whether or not the cause of Ukraine is still at the top of the agenda, especially since we were once criticized as South Africa for taking a non-aligned stance.
Ziyanda, our Minister of International Relations, Naledi Pandor, is, or one could possibly say, she has gained a reputation for not mincing her words. How favorable an ear is her Ukrainian counterpart going to get, given the manner in which Ukraine voted in the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas? And keep in mind that there is still this effort by African leaders to try and mediate in the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Yeah, I think the last point you make is quite significant in terms of the African countries and the continent trying to assist in terms of finding a resolution. And our very own President Cyril Ramaphosa has been front and center of that agenda, leading those 6 African nations earlier on this year for peace and mediation talks. I think in terms of, Dr. Naledi Pandor, she's always fair but forthright and also very trite when it comes to her stance against bullying and what she perceives to be bullying, especially from these larger nations such as the United States. Remember that only just recently did the U.S. admit to the economic damage caused by those now seemingly false allegations that, Pretoria loaded arms bound for Moscow on that Lady R vessel. So these are issues that are all, intertwined, Koli. So I think this minister will obviously have her ear. South Africa has never shut the door and has insisted that it is big on negotiation and dialogue as underpinning our foreign policy stance. Of course, perhaps she will express some words about how they voted at that UN General Assembly meeting in terms of an immediate ceasefire. And she's also, as you said, not minced her words to say that South Africa is showing solidarity with the people of Palestine.
Senior politics reporter Ziyanda Ngcobo watching the space for us in Pretoria at the occasion of the visit of the Ukrainian foreign minister.